He's been creative. That's what I like about this dude too. He's been a little creative.
Because Aaron Gordon, if this consistency, but look Aaron Gordon. I mean, he couldn't beat Zach. Now Zach was crazy, but Aaron Gordon was incredible.
But sometimes consistent because no one has thrown an alley-oop and caught it.
Oh,
he
and
caught
then
it.
windmill.
But see, he didn't let it bounce. No, it's a great dunk. No, that's the first time.
All right, we back live, boys. Sorry about technical difficulties. Baby ball talk. We out here.
That's a 48.5.
No, that's a 49.5 or 50. That's a 49 and a half, 50. The judges don't look like you're getting a 50. Oh,
I gotta see this replay again. I kind of missed it because I was trying to set up the stream. You're gonna give it a 9, Joel?
Yeah, I'll give it a 9. I mean, I like the dunk. Maybe worth a 10, but
Okay, 40, 48. What is that?
I don't like giving out 10s like hotcakes.
Carl gave him a 46.
Oh, he went under the legs, lobbed it up. Oh, he didn't throw it off the back. He just lobbed it up pretty high as hell. And just really got it.
Without letting it touch the ground and bounce to you.
That was pretty nice. But I'll give it a 9 too.
Hey, I love you, Carl.
No one has ever done that, but it wasn't as impressive as that Matt McClung off the glass 10 earlier. I mean,
Oh, here comes Mac.
here comes Mac right here.
Comes McClung.
That's a hezzy. That's called a hezzy dunk. So you hezzy in there.
That's gonna look better in slow motion.
Yeah, over that guy's hesitated, but
49 and a half. That's like one shit.
said he did it twice. He said he hesitated twice. But
Yeah.
You better be worried. Yeah, you gotta be worried. You gotta be worried. Because watch, when he catches it, the pump, then freeze it again and pump. That's a double pump.
Look at the action.
Freeze it and get it back up.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's a 50. I tell you, the way he's won you over, Kenny, is admirable. Ooh, look at his head.
That boy is up there, dog.
bro, his head's at the rim, bro.
Hey, there's a place in Vegas called
Dude got
And
pogo
he
sticks.
just
played.
like floats. He like floats up there.
He got it. He got it. Those are 50. Now, what I'm upset about is he should have a perfect score the entire time.
I don't know about power.
I think I'd give that one a 9.5.
Again,
Yeah, I still don't think it was as good as his first one, but I think he wouldn't have come out like swinging like with his very best dunk as his first one, you know?
That's impressive.
Kind of shut it down early, but
well, he was
that one was pretty nasty. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
Nasty.
it's hard to give it. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I don't have a 9.5, but I'll hold up a 9, but I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Oh, G League? My bad.
And it had the Gatorade sign on it.
Okay.
He was last year's G League Rookie of the Year. You do know Draymond plays in the league right now.
I'm just asking the question.
Okay. Colin Sexton likes
These dudes.
He's like, man, I'm going to have to guard this dude in a minute.
These dudes' reactions is probably the
He didn't
funniest
say that.
He didn't say
part.
He said he got to dribble from inline to inline, too. He's not worried about that. Colin Sexton don't worry about that. I'll tell you
The
that.
Matt McClung dunk real quick. Fast shit.
I'm still tripping.
Sir.
Carl gave him a 46 on his.
Oh, okay. See, that's nice, but
Oh, Trey Murphy with the little windmill, 360 windmill.
it's a good dunk. But it's not. It just he's too long for that. He's too like big for that type of dunk to look really good.
We've seen that dunk. We haven't really seen.
But it's a tough dunk.
He was up high, but
No, he was up high enough, but we've seen that.
yeah. See, it looks better in slow
It's a good
motion.
dunk, but it's not gonna get the job done.
Yeah, it's not gonna get it done. I'm gonna go ahead and give that. Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna go give that a 9 for the athleticism, but that's about it.
That's not that.
It's being generous. Could have given it 8.5.
That's generous.
This is a 46 if you're Karl Malone. I would have given this a 46.
Yeah.
This better not be a 47 from you,
Oh
Karl.
wow.
Wow, what?
This is in there.
Where's the consistency? Come on, man. 49.2 for that?
Yeah.
Come
They
on,
gave
man.
him a good score for that
What
dunk.
I'm gonna do? As soon as Matt wins, I gotta run out and take a photo with Matt. I want to be the first person to get a photo with Matt.
So, wait, he's got a prop here, guys.
Is he putting on a jersey?
Prop here. High school jersey. Yeah.
High school.
High school jersey.
Oh, remember we were showing some highlights of him in high school on Twitter earlier.
And the JJ Redick.
That's the actual jersey he wore in high school. It still fits him.
And he's putting on the handle.
Story.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, was that like a
He said
double
it's
360?
over.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen. It is a wrap.
This is his moment.
He knew it. CJ TJ going and shaking one. Good job, man. It's over.
Oh, my goodness.
It's over.
Got the Vince Carter. It's over.
A star being born
Matt
tonight.
McClung hit him with the Vince Carter. Like I said, oh
A
sh.
star.
Yeah.
Like an NBA star.
An NBA star
You wee.
is born tonight. His name will be realmed through
He had that Michael's secret stuff.
48 hours. Yes,
Matt
indeed.
McClung going in.
Go, young
It's gonna be a 10 in the night.
Won me over, Matt.
I'm gonna say this. Matt,
360, and then he did behind, and then he did a reverse. So he was a
Wait, let me see.
720,
That's a 720.
That's the 580.
720, or is that 580?
G Leaguer has saved. He has saved the dunk.
580.
He almost did the 720.
Try to
Whatever
get
it
to the
is, it's nasty. It's a 10. All right.
And he's the winner.
Yeah.
Crown him.
Game time.
Give this man his
Go.
I'm going to get myself. Can I get a selfie, sir?
Go ahead. Look at this.
Matt McClung
Look at the turn.
was
Matt-
once a
Kenny, it might
What was he?
once a YouTube sensation.
have been. It's over.
360 and a half.
It might have been. He said it.
Went to Georgetown. Went to Texas Tech. Played D1 ball.
360 and a half is what? 540.
Been in the G League trying to get drafted. He got signed by Philly. So he's going to be on a two-way with Philly, I believe.
You know what it is? He started off backwards.
No, that's
But
a
this is the
540.
kind of moment that can springboard him onto an NBA team, or
He's won me over.
kind of moment that'll, this is his moment pretty much.
You're the hater.
And I thought it was interesting that Philly signed him right before the dunk contest. I think that they knew that he was going to blow up after this, and that somebody was going to look to sign him. Just on, ticket sales alone. Now that people know he's on Philly, people are going to go to the Philadelphia games just to think that they can watch this dude go play now, right?
Or just dunk like that in the game.
Yeah,
So
just
catch
see
a
him.
fast break.
Yeah, or catch him in warm-ups dunking or whatever it is,
Stanley Phillips in the chat said he was a YouTube sensation. Sure he was.
He sure was, for sure. Yeah, back in the day, he was in high school. He's still a baller, but he used to dominate.
Now, please welcome AT&T Senior Vice President of Product Marketing, Jimmy Bell, joined by Julius Irving. as they
So
present
Ben's
the
pick won. Matt McClung, my pick won the three-point contest. Ben's pick won the dunk contest. I had Trey Murphy, so we had both guys in the finals. But Matt McClung, after that first dunk, I think we knew that the trophy was his to lose.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And the fact that when we saw that first dunk,
He knew that the trophy.
we didn't even notice that he hit it off the glass, which was crazy.
I think that first dunk was actually his best dunk.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think he just came out and was like, man, I'm just going to end this early and do my first best dunk early, Because, that's all he had to do,
How
really.
about one more
Day.
round of applause for Mac McClung, everybody?
Did Philly sign Kevin Love? I know they were talking about him going to Heat too.
Within this week, you weren't even on an NBA
Philly
team.
might have got
Now
Kevin
your
Love too.
name is up there with Michael Jordan. You got Dr. J giving you the trophy.
Yeah, I'm not too sure
Dominique
about that.
Wilkins just want to come over here and
Yeah, and
help
I
you.
saw reports of
What is
Kevin
this
Love,
gonna
either
be
the
like?
Miami Heat or Philly
It's
were the
great,
two
man.
teams.
I'm truly blessed and grateful for the NBA giving me this opportunity. I think the biggest thing is manifestation. I don't get surprised by things like this, but I'm very appreciative.
Kenny said, one, a star has been born, and two, you have saved the dunk contest. Can I get you to commit to doing the dunk contest again next year?
Oh,
I got you. If you guys will have me, I'll be back.
Oh, that's good. So
Oh,
he's going to come back
okay,
and do it
so-
again. Maybe that'll motivate some people to get in there. And
Zion?
him and Zion, could you imagine him and Zion going dunk for dunk, bro?
Oh, I would like seeing that. Yeah, I'd love to see that, bro. Get him in there. Down
Get him in there. Let's make it happen, bro.
Should be saying, hold my beer.
I'll tell you what, if I'm his agent, I'm calling the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm no longer on a two-way. I'm on a one-way ticket to Philly, baby.
Yeah, so Kenny said a star is born. I think this guy's been a star for a while, man. He's starting to obviously blow up he blew up on the NBA stage tonight. But I seen him in the summer league too over there in Vegas. But dude's been doing this for a long time, and he's been a YouTube star for a long time. I know that. So it's a good moment for him. Everyone gets to see what he's been doing for a long time. But he's not just a dunker; he's a hooper too. But he obviously is one of his best attributes is dunking that ball.
The most.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's known for, but he's not. He needs to be able to do more than that to be able to stay in the league. I mean,
Yeah, no, he'll always bounce back and forth, but I mean,
he could shoot a little bit too.
yeah, but
Alvarado's face, their faces.
dude's still a baller. He's legit. So good little Saturday All-Star night.
You too, Stanley. Appreciate you tuning in, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for chatting a little bit. We got lost earlier, so anybody else who jump back in, we appreciate it. We try to get that All-Star game going tomorrow night. See how exciting that is. But at least we got to see a little excitement in the dunk contest tonight. I think we both thought that Matt McClung would bring some excitement to this competition. So it's good to see. Dude's face.
The reaction is
That's
the
what I'm saying.
greatest, bro.
Yeah, the facial expressions are the best by all these guys. Like
Derpy, I appreciate the honesty. He said that slam dunk contest sucked until Mac.
yeah. I don't think anybody had super high hopes for it, but yeah, he was. You know, it would have been really good if Shaden Sharp was in it though, bro. If Shaden Sharp, I'm telling you, I think him and Mac would have went dunk for dunk. That would have been
Nice, bro.
would have been nice because Shaden, man, he got some pogo sticks too, bro. Boy gets up.
Yeah, maybe if he's in it next year with Zion, man, and then they could all go at it. That'd be nasty. Love to see that.
Yeah, hopefully they can put a little more emphasis on the dunk contest. Try to get some of these stars in there. I told Ben earlier, I think LeBron not doing it his entire career kind of has steered away some of these young guys just because they look up to LeBron. But Jordan did it, Kobe did it. I mean, I don't know what it is about now that these guys don't want to do it anymore, but at least we got what is that?
This guy in the grocery store met McClung right now, jumping over stuff. Oh, you gotta love it, man. People put it on Twitter.
The fact that dude actually did that in a grocery store, right?
Yeah, there's like a random hoop right there. Like,
just chilling.
well, it's not
Dame
random.
Dollar.
Yeah, Dame Dollar
Go.
winning the 3-point shootout. Shout out
Weber.
to Joel picked that.
Sir.
Probably the weakest dunk there was.
I think he should have just ripped off the 5 and just held up the 0.
Good call.
Like it ripped a little bit. Should have just ripped the whole thing and just held up the 0.
Yeah, might as well just ripped it off. Ripped the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Kevin Love's that's retired. Kevin Love's number 0. Oh, okay. Thought that was going to be some breaking news.
Yeah, it said maybe he signed with the Sixers. I don't know. It was them or the Heat. We'll see. We haven't seen the
Matt McClung with the last dunk. 720. He said he jumped from backwards though, so it didn't count, but whatever.
So,
look, he started backwards, they said. He started with his back to the
yeah, so it's more like a 580, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's like one and a half spins.
Well, no, they're not even saying it's not even a 580. They're saying it's just like a 360 basically because he started with his back to the basket and then he did a 360 and then he ended with his back to the basket. You know what I mean? Dunking it. I don't know.
It's hard to tell when it's going so fast, but
no, like think about it though. Like
yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Because the way he started when he jumped.
Yeah, that's what they were arguing about. The commentators, I think Reggie Miller and somebody else, whoever that was.
But yeah, I think he could have came up with something a little bit better than that last dunk, but I think he knew that he just needed to do something exciting.
But yeah, that first one though.
Yeah, that first dunk was sick. It
was nasty, bro.
Mac versus Zion would have been an epic finish. The two viral sensations of their era. He needed to co-main event guy with him. He needs a co-main event. Ridiculous bounce. What someone tweeted. That's what we just said. We said Mac versus Zion. How crazy would that be, right?
Yeah.
He won my heart, Kenny.
I want to look at the Lakers schedule and see if you think that if they can possibly.
One thing I would say about the dunk contest that was good was that at least those guys made it on their first attempt. Though sometimes we see these guys miss a whole bunch of attempts, but they were actually making it. Mac and Trey made it on their first attempts.
Yeah, they were both making it on their first attempt. Definitely that very first one that he had. That was dope. I can hear you. I think I can hear you.
Yeah, the TV a little bit.
The angle of that.
Yeah, Philly just signed that man just to get that pub. Seriously, people in Philadelphia are going online and buying tickets to games right now just because of this fool. Won't even see the court.
Well, I mean, they are still at the top of the East. They have a chance, and now with KD and that's pretty much out of it. I mean, opens up more of a slant to them. I mean, they still got to go against the Bucks and Celtics, and the Cavs. So.
All-Star games tomorrow, 7:30 our time.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. Let us know who you got. Team LeBron, Team Giannis. Team LeBron's undefeated right now. I'm gonna go out straight up and say it. I'm gonna rock with him. I mean, you can see my.
We don't even know what the teams are yet, but
yeah, I don't even care. I know he's gonna pick good. He's probably gonna pick Kyrie first, or Luka, one of the two. I feel like. But what do you think? Who do you think? Or maybe Joker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do the picking, but I mean, I would pick KD first if he was available, but obviously he's not available.
That's what I'm saying. No, the people. Yeah. I think they gotta be healthy. They gotta be healthy. They gotta be playing the game.
Yeah.
Or Steph Curry's not playing, and neither is KD. I don't think so.
Yeah, so I'm saying KD and Steph. Those are two guys you would think would get picked early. They're not playing.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, we can go. Oh yeah, Matt McClung, you going at it.
Yeah, hopefully Doc does give him some run, bro.
Right,
that Sixers team's pretty deep at guard.
Yeah, that's true. So looking at the Lakers schedule going forward after this All-Star break, I want you to look at their matchups. I think that they could possibly
some of the Lakers
playing. Yeah. So they got the Warriors Thursday after the All-Star, after tomorrow, next week, and then they got the Mavs.
They're actually supposed to have one of the easiest schedules just based on team records coming down the stretch.
Well, they play a lot of the same teams again and again. It's crazy. They got the Warriors here, and then Sunday they got the Mavs. The Warriors they just beat recently without LeBron, so let's see if they can win that one. But no Steph, obviously in that one still. We'll see if Luka and Kyrie both play in this one. That'd be a nice matchup Sunday. Grizz and Lakers. Another matchup. I feel like the Grizz are kind of on a downslope, so I feel like they're going to be a tough matchup trying to get back where they were. They want to get back in the playoffs. They got the Thunder, which is a winnable game, but they're fighting with them right there in the West for that play-in, so it's going to be tough. SGA and everything. The two Williams. T-Wolves after that. I feel like that's a winnable game. That's going to be a weird game though, because it's going to be where they're going to go back D'Angelo and Nick Beasley and Vanderbilt.
It looks like that game's in LA.
So it's in LA. Well, I'm saying they're playing that team though, so it's still going to be interesting. And then they got the Warriors again. Steph might be back by that game. It's a whole, of course, 2 weeks later maybe or so.
Could be.
So we'll see. Then they got the Grizz again. Then they got the Raptors. A lot of home games though. It looks like they're all at home in these ones.
Yeah.
Knicks right here. They got the Pels they just beat. So, I mean, looking at the schedule, like you said, it looks favorable for them, but they still got to get together. They got to get chemistry with those new guys and everything. I'm optimistic, but I'm still skeptical at the same time.
I mean, there's some tough games there. Even those first, 6 games coming out the break, or I guess you could say 5 because they play the Warriors twice. I mean, where do you see those wins? Are the Warriors games if Curry's not back? Maybe the Timberwolves. But I don't know. They're kind of a different team now, right? Because of the new guys. So we have to see how they
mesh.
gel in
I think the winnable ones are the Warriors, the Thunder, the T-Wolves, and then maybe the Warriors again if Steph's not back in the second one too. But the Grizz and the Mavericks, I feel like are the two that I think will be in trouble.
Yeah, it looks like that Lakers Mavericks game is going to be a primetime Sunday game there. Lakers and Thunder, the Lakers have to win that game. They lost the one when LeBron broke the record, but the Thunder are right above them in the standings.
That's what I'm saying. They're right there with them. Yeah.
Neck and neck in standings. Like they really need to win that game to kind of get some sort of leverage of a tiebreaker on them. And I don't even think they'll get that, but they're really going to need that game.
Yeah, we'll see if they can stay healthy, man. See if they can stay healthy. Is there anybody, any other team schedule you want to look at and see move forward? Didn't see how they're gonna pan out. The Net or the Suns maybe, or
yeah, maybe the Suns. We don't know when Kevin Durant's really gonna come back. They're hoping after All-Star break, but I don't know if he'll come back immediately after All-Star break. I think he'll still take another week or so.
Yeah, he says Doc Rivers better give him some burn.
Oh yeah, Mac.
Yo, fellas, who says white man can't jump? Like that, Derpy. Oh, excuse me. I'm congested like crazy, man. Something in the air. I don't know what it is. Allergies.
All day down here. Everyday thing.
All right, so we got the Suns schedules up. Let's know if there's any Suns fans out there. Obviously, there probably some Durant fans maybe hopping on. See, coming out the break, they got the Thunder team we were talking about. Possibly in the West, trying to make a run. So that's going to be a tough one right there. Tough matchup. They're probably not going to have Durant. They might. I don't know. We'll see. After the rest.
I think he'll be back in March. Hopefully he's back for that March 5th game right there. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, against the Mavericks. I know. So you're like, F all these games, right?
That's the game I'm looking at right there.
In Dallas, bro. Oh, that's going to be the one. We're probably going to stream that one, so stay tuned for that, boys and girls.
That's going to be on a Saturday, though, at 12.
I'll still stream it.
It's going to be an ABC prime time game.
It's going to be a good one.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a Saturday prime time game during the day.
Stanley Phillips said, don't forget to look at the Mavericks schedule. Okay, we can look at theirs next sometime. Be a good one.
Yeah, so what are the Mavericks right now? I want to say they're...
We look at the standings. I can look at the Mavericks right here. They're right. Yeah.
Them and the Suns were right there, 5th and 6th, and the Clippers. The Clippers actually just jumped the Suns the other day when they beat them. So I feel like those three right there, the Clippers, Suns, and Mavericks, those are going to be interesting to see where they fall in this playoff picture and what kind of matchups. Because look at those matchups, bro. You can see the Clippers, Suns, and Mavs all beating the Kings, Grizzlies, and Nuggets possibly in a series.
Yeah.
Like you could realistically see that. I mean, you could see it go the other way around, but
well, right now, definitely with the trades, because the Suns and the Mavericks didn't have Kyrie and KD before this all went down. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's gonna change the dynamic of everything, and we'll see if the Nuggets and the Grizz can keep it up, because they could easily slip back down into the middle.
Well, the Nuggets are. I think the Nuggets are pretty.
Yeah, you're right. The Nuggets only have 18 losses.
They actually been playing really well, so we might be sleeping on them a little bit, but obviously they're not a team that's going to get talked about. Well, it'll be interesting. I know the Nuggets they're not going to want to see the Warriors or the Lakers in that first round. That's for sure.
Well, the main thing about the Nuggets is they got to prove they can do it in the playoffs. Jokic just proved he can win MVPs during the regular season, but when it comes to playoffs, for some reason they just can't get over the hump. I know last year they didn't have Murray; he was hurt, right? This year they did, so this year they do. So we'll see. We'll see what happens moving forward with the Nuggets. I'm hoping they can do something, make some noise, but they made the Western Conference Finals, right? But I don't know, man. Like you were saying, they don't want to see the Lakers or the Warriors in the first round. That would be tough for them just to get out.
Yeah, I'm not ready to say that the Lakers would beat the Mavericks in a 7-game series. The Warriors now.
You mean the Nuggets? Yeah.
Yeah, the Nuggets. The Warriors, I wouldn't put it past them, but I'm not ready to say that the Lakers could beat the Nuggets yet. But the Warriors are going to be a scary team. They're going to be an interesting team. I mean, what if they get in that? What if the Warriors end up in that 7th seed and it's Dubs and Grizz in the first round? Or
Yeah, that's true.
and I still think if KD comes back, I think they're going to start playing well. I think the Suns are going to end at at 3rd. I think they're going to end at 3rd. I think the Clippers and Suns are going to jump up to that 2nd and 3rd position.
You think the Grizz are going to drop down to the 4th?
I think Grizz will drop. Well, Grizz may drop down to the 3rd. I mean, well,
Suns to the 2nd.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna say
interesting.
Nuggets. I think the Suns actually, the Suns get to that 2nd seed. The Clippers get to that 3rd seed, and I say the Grizz drop to 4th, and the Mavericks get to 5th. So I could see maybe a Grizz Mavericks first round matchup, and then the Kings drop down to 6. And then I got the Pelicans and the Warriors eating up those next 2 spots.
Yeah.
So it'd just be interesting to where they fall, because even the Pelicans getting Zion back, bro, you don't want to see them in the first round.
Yeah, they need to get him back healthy, but they need to keep it afloat too, because they could easily bounce out just because the records are so close right there. So you got to be careful moving forward.
But I do think the Suns will creep up into that 2nd spot.
We got Derpy in the chat saying Suns versus Mavericks in Western Conference Finals if they stay healthy. That's a good pick. Won't be surprised. They might end up matching up in the 2nd round though, the way everything plans out. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to depend on
depends.
seeding, but that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a solid. I still think people are sleeping on the Nuggets, and then I think the Warriors are going to be a scary team if they get healthy playoff time and it can get in.
Do the Mavericks schedule moving
There's just
forward.
so many teams in the West that you can like look at and be like, man, they can get hot and make a run.
They got the Spurs coming.
I just drove over an hour from Martha.
They got the Spurs coming off of the All-Star break. Could be a winnable game for them.
Mavs got an extra vacation day, huh? Playing Spurs when they come back. Nice.
Our hometown team going in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. If y'all haven't heard, so just be ready for that. But yeah, and then we got Lakers Mavericks prime time, so it's a good one though. Looking forward to. They got the Pacers, okay. 76ers. Pacers a winnable game. 76ers would be interesting. Then they got that one against the Suns that everybody wants to see. Hopefully KD's healthy by then. Then they got the Jazz, the Pels. Jazz winnable game. Pels, see if they get Zion back by then. Grizz, tough matchup right there. Grizz back to back. First at Memphis and then in Dallas. Crazy 2 days later. Okay.
They got a pretty tough schedule, but luckily they do have the Spurs twice and the Jazz in there.
That's true. Got Derpy also saying in the chat, honestly, the Cavs are good enough to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Man, after the Nets bouncing out, yeah, I mean, they have a chance. I mean, but they still have to bounce out either, Boston or Milwaukee. That's saying a lot.
I know, bro. Like, I don't see Milwaukee and Boston are just, they're still head and shoulders better than everybody in the league right now. I mean,
Speaking of the East, we could look at it real quick.
Eastern Conference Finals matchup of the Bucks Celtics, I think would be pretty epic. But yeah, the Cavs definitely have the talent. The Cavs and the Sixers, those are the two teams we need to put it together. I think the Cavs just need more experience. They can make that run, but I think they're like the Celtics were 2 years ago. You know, when they were getting there, but not quite there yet. And I still think that they need another piece on the wing out there. They got a solid four in Darius Garland, Mitchell, Jared Allen, and of course Mobley, but I think they need another wing player out there that's more of a threat. They do have some good defenders,
yeah,
as well, but I just think the Bucks and the Celtics, especially when the Bucks and Celtics are fully healthy, you just look at their squads, the starting five from top to bottom. It's going to be tough for the Cavs to beat those teams 4 times in a 7-game series, but it would be interesting to see. I mean, those would be great to see the Cavs against the Celtics or Bucks, and then the Sixers against the Celtics or Bucks in the second round, and see if either one of those teams can give them a challenge. But it's funny because we look at the East and we're like, it's like pretty set. Like those 4 teams, you probably know are going to be in the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Yeah.
The way it's shaping out right now, unless the Heat have something to say about it, or somebody comes out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
I think
but
the Heat are the only team. The Knicks is like a super long shot, but like,
yeah, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more in the East as far as just structure, and those 4 teams you're looking at are just up above everybody there. You look over in the West, and you're like, dang, well, this team can make the Western Conference Finals, but can they even make the playoffs?
exactly. No, yeah, and then just going back to the West, like you were saying, just looking at the bunch, like the records are just so tight. I mean, the Nuggets are the only ones that kind of pulled away. I mean, even the Grizz are sitting right there to where they could possibly drop. Scrolling down, you got the Lakers down here, 13th spot. The only team that could possibly creep up. These other teams, I mean, the Blazers could. Dame's been on a tear, man. They could creep up too. The Jazz, I don't really see them doing much. Thunder are tough. See them hanging around there.
Well, I guess we should. Who do you think is going to be in the play-in? Because you pretty much got. I mean, it's cut off right now. It's cut off after the Mavs, so you're going to have what? The Pelicans, the Timberwolves, the Warriors, the Thunder, the Lakers, and maybe the Blazers fighting for 4 spots. So you got 5 teams fighting for 4 spots.
Yeah, because it's the 7 through 10 is the play-in, right? So, yeah. 7 teams playing for 4 spots, and then if you count the Jazz, finish what it is.
Man, can you imagine if the Timberwolves don't make the playoffs? They just gave up 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. Gave up D'Angelo Russell.
Hey, they're putting a lot of trust in that man, and company. So.
Oh yeah, he's the future for sure.
He's gonna do his thing.
And then obviously with them, they're still waiting to get Karl Anthony Towns back. They haven't even played with Towns yet since D'Angelo's has been gone, which just recently happened. But Towns has been out for a while, so they need to get him healthy.
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all hit that like button coming in. Appreciate everybody coming in. JB Ball Talk, we out here. We had a great dunk contest earlier. Matt McClung doing his thing.
Yeah, we saw Matt McClung go off. I know y'all are watching that. Thanks for tuning in. I was just saying, in the West, man, I'm trying to think.
Make sure you join our Discord. I posted in the chat, boys. Anybody wants to join our Discord, let me know. You want me to repost it? If you want to join the conversation, feel free. Chopping up about the West, the East, seeing what's going to happen after the All-Star break. Just going in a little bit. And we got the All-Star game tomorrow night. We're looking forward to it, too, if you want to chime in about that. Caleb coming in, saying, hey, what's up? How's it going, man? Welcome in.
I'm going to ask you a question, man. In the West, since we're looking at it, other than the Suns, because I think a lot of people are expecting a lot out of the Suns with Kevin Durant, that addition. Who's the team in the West that you're looking for? I think the most, to kind of
to give them a fight. You mean?
Going, to kind of get going here in the second half of the season after All-Star break. Or who do you think's gonna? Who you expecting the most from? Out of these teams, I guess you can say. I mean, other than the Suns, really, with the KD addition, I think a lot of people expect them to maybe be the team to beat over there. But just looking at those top 10 teams, who are you expecting to maybe go on a run or make a jump in the standings?
Yeah, it's hard to say, man, just because it's been so up and down for a lot of these teams in the West. Because I think early in the season the Pels were number 1 in the West, the Mavs were up there, the Suns were even up there at the number 1 seed at one point, and then now they're back in the middle of the pack. So it's been bouncing around for a lot of these teams. I would say if the Warriors can get a healthy Steph back, I could see them making a run in the second half for sure. They have the pieces around them to do something. I mean, their defense has been iffy at times, don't get me wrong, but Steph's just got that star power, and on offense he just sucks up the offense and gets Clay looks, gets easy looks for Poole. So I feel like their offense will carry their defense at times. But I mean, other than them, I think it's a toss-up, man. It also depends if Zion can come back healthy, and if Luka and Kyrie can get some chemistry and stay healthy, I could see them possibly getting it. I think the Clippers will kind of hang around where they're at right now, that 4 or 5 seed or whatever. I think they're going to stick around there, in my opinion. The Kings, I feel like could drop down a little bit, but I feel like they're still going to be there in the middle of the pack too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, it's like 1 or 2 games separating most of the teams in the middle of the pack, so it'll be interesting. I mean, you had mentioned the Warriors. Obviously, they have their deficiencies on defense. They tried to make a trade for Gary Payton to stir up things a little bit there, but it looks like he's going to be hurt, so he might not even play or be available till the playoffs. You know, if you break down a lot of these starting lineups on these teams, the starting lineup on the Warriors, with including Steph, Clay, Draymond, Wiggins, and Kevin Looney, is actually still, based on the numbers, still one of the best starting lineups in the league when they're all on the floor together, just based on, you know, this season. Obviously, they haven't all been on the floor together a whole lot. But when that starting 5 is on the floor, they're one of the best starting 5s in the league. So that's a team that you can never count out. Obviously, we've seen them, you know, defending champs. We've seen them make runs in the past. So, like you said, with the star power of Steph Curry, it's hard to pick against that team when it comes down to it. Teams aren't going to want to play that the Warriors in a 7-game series. I can tell you that if they're fully healthy. But the team that I'm actually looking forward to make the biggest jump is going to be the Clippers. I had mentioned it that I think the Clippers and the Suns are going to jump up to that 2-3 spot when it's all said and done. I think they're going to start getting going with the trade that they just did. I think they're starting to find a little bit more of an identity. I think you're going to see Kawhi and Paul George start playing a lot more. You're not going to see Kawhi sitting out of these games, and they're going to start ramping things up and start, you know, making a playoff push to try to get some home court in the first and second round. So I think that's the team I'm expecting the most out of in the second half of the season is going to be the Clippers. Obviously, the Suns with KD and the Mavs with Kyrie. Much is going to be expected of those teams. Even the Lakers with their trade, right? But I think the team that I'm looking at is that Clippers team.
Yeah, and it
just could be a team that's scary, or, you know, maybe a team that's really not gonna do anything.
And just to let people know, coming in, we're talking about a team besides the Suns. Everybody knows the Suns are obviously a favorite to jump up there in the West because KD, as long as he comes back healthy, keeps playing. But we're talking about other teams in the West that could be good and can fight for that other top seed. Obviously, the Nuggets are already up there too, so.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Nuggets. They're a deep, complete team. They're really good at home. You know, obviously everyone knows Joker, the 2-time MVP, might be a 3-time MVP this season. Really going to need Jamal Murray in the playoffs to kind of get to that, you know, that Dame type level, that Steph type level of shot making, so that they want to try to make a deep run in the playoffs. He did that in the bubble when they made it to the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers. But they're going to need that Jamal Murray to make a deep run. But I mean, the Nuggets, the Nuggets they may end up matching up with, you know, somebody like the Warriors in the first round, or a healthy Pelicans team or a Lakers team, and it's, you know, from that point on, they may be facing a team that's got a couple more stars than they do, and then that's when things get tricky. But it's going to be interesting, definitely. Seeding's not going to matter a whole too much in the West. It's just going to be more about the matchups, you know?
Yeah, it's all going to come down to matchups, and we're going to see later on, as it gets closer to the season, what these matchups are going to look like, and they could end up coming down to the last few games of the season, where we end up seeing these last, seeding matchups, could flip-flop at the last game. So, you can see teams basically lose games on purpose because of matchups. Like, it could get really interesting in the game, and in the season, I could see. I mean, obviously, they're not going to straight out admit it, but, they might just rest their star players. Like, say Dallas wants a certain matchup, they might just rest Luka and Kyrie, like one night.
Well, we've seen it before a couple years back when, or actually last year when I think Philly didn't play their stars because they didn't want to play Brooklyn in the first round, and then Celtics won and they played Brooklyn in the first round, and obviously they swept Brooklyn, but there was a team that had lost and then the Celtics won and they flipped so that they didn't have to match up with Brooklyn, who was a 7th seed in that first round. Obviously, we know Brooklyn didn't do shit and the Celtics swept them, but that's exactly what you're talking about, is that jockeying for position where they okay, we like this matchup, let's take this matchup instead of this matchup.
Exactly.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have to go through 3 tough teams in the West to even get to the finals. And that's another reason why I give the Bucks and Celtics such a huge advantage, because they may not face as tough as a road until that, that semis and that conference finals, and then of course the finals. But in the West, you're I mean, in the West, you can go through 3 straight 7-game series before you get to the finals. And then you're like, damn, we've already played 21 games just to get to the finals, you know? So.
No, exactly. I mean, that's what it takes in the West. It's going to be a slugfest from the first round out. In the East, you know, they're going to have a little easier time. Definitely, you know, you're going to looking at the Celtics, the Bucks, who they're going to have in the first round. You know, maybe, you know, the Knicks, the Nets, the Hawks, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Wizards, you see a couple sweeps, you know? So it's like, at that point, they're just a little bit of an easier road, but still, that if the Celtics and the Bucks have to battle in the Eastern Conference Finals, that may be the most physical series that we may see. That may be the best series we may see when those two teams do match, if they're fully healthy. Because I still think those teams, even with all the moves in the West, everything that all the teams have done in the West, I still think the Bucks and the Celtics are still better than any other team right now. I think those two teams are head and shoulders above everybody else. Yeah. I guess you can put the Nuggets maybe somewhere in there as well too, but I think that since we've already seen the Bucks and Celtics make that run to the finals, I think that gives them a little bit more of an edge, especially when it comes to the playoff time against, you know, somebody like the Sixers or the Cavs.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Joel. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Looks like we got like 7 likes. We got a good amount of people in here. We really appreciate it. Helps get the stream out to other people. Hit that sub button if you like what you see. We be chopping it up. NBA, NFL. Obviously, the NFL just ended. Pat Mahomes getting that Super Bowl MVP. Talking a lot of smack about next year, too. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next year. Make sure you stay tuned for that. We're talking some offseason football. We got the XFL going on, too. Joel was talking about earlier. But, yeah, we out here.
JV Ball Talk.
On right now, the Houston Renegades right now are smashing. The Houston Roughnecks. I'm sorry, Houston Roughnecks.
We got Ryan in the chat. Did you see Tim Duncan's Spurs record?
Oh, dude, yeah. Tim Duncan's a legend around these parts. I don't know his complete Spurs record, but obviously the dude's a legend, top 10 player all time.
5 championships.
Yeah, I mean, some may even put him in the top 5, but he's definitely a top 10er. Yeah, Tim Duncan was probably didn't get talked about as much just because he played with the Spurs, and not a lot of people watch Spurs basketball unless you're
the big market. But, the beast. You got to put him up there with Shaq. I mean, on the same level pretty much. I mean, he didn't play in LA, but I mean, you got to put him on that same pedestal pretty much. I'm surprised the Spurs haven't built a statue for him yet.
Yeah, I think that's coming soon. They're trying to do what they did with Tim Duncan, the same with Victor Wamby. Obviously, they're trying to tank and get that.
They got Victor.
The projection of their organization.
If Pop can mold Victor, bro, oh my god, see that, man. Every team that forced Tim Duncan's Spurs or faced Tim Duncan Spurs in the playoffs either lose a series, beating Spurs, getting them tired, or lose them immediately in the next series. Yeah, man. I mean, they were a good team, man. I mean, they played the Heat a couple times in the finals against LeBron. They lost once and they beat him the second time. They could have won the first one too. If it wasn't for Ray Allen in that shot in the game 6. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could have went down in the Spurs' favor. Could have been winning back to back.
That's a good point, though. He's kind of touching on that you can go through a hard-fought 7-game series that just freaking wears you down, and then you get a day off, and then the next day you might be facing another team going into another 7-game series that you know is going to be a battle. So those are those mental battles too that not a lot of teams have been through, and those are those hurdles you have to jump. We saw with the Grizzlies last year. Do they still need to jump that hurdle? We're going to have to see the Cavs jump that hurdle. That's that mental battle. Like if the Cavs were to go through a hard-fought 7-game series against the Bucks or Celtics and somehow pulled it out in 7 games and then have to face one of the other teams in the next series, how hard that's going to be. So those are those things that, that's why it's so hard to win a championship, man.
Yeah, you face one juggernaut, you knock them off, and then you're on to the next.
And then,
Like,
yeah, you're facing another juggernaut, right? It's like, oh man, we just went through this. Then we got to play even a more physical team.
It reminds me of that time when LeBron was in the East and they got to the finals when Kyrie got traded. They got to the finals and then they had to face that Kevin Durant team with Golden State, and they were asking him about it right after he won the East, and he was just like, "Look, man, I don't even want to talk about that. I already know what I got to go up against. Like, don't rub it in, bro. We just won the East. Like, let me enjoy this, and then but they put up a fight, but I mean, they probably should have won the game one. Honestly, there was I think after that, LeBron ended up breaking his hand. They said or whatever. So.
Well, it's like I just had Giannis dunking on my head last series. Now you're telling me I got Steph Curry is about to 3-ball me to death in the next series? Okay. Like, I mean, it's a grind out there, bro.
Exactly what happens, dude. It's exactly what happens. Here are their faces.
Yeah.
Dunk contest.
That one dude was like, shit. Oh, shit.
Oh. A skunk face.
That skunk face, that stink face.
What did I just see?
Looked like somebody walked in with a loud pack.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, sub. We out here. We're going to try to be back tomorrow night for the All-Star game, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. If you like what you see, we'll be showing some highlights on Twitter. Yes, sir. Check out our shorts.
Yeah, the shorts go hard.
Yeah, the shorts be going hard. We're trying to be posting some every other day or so stay tuned for that. Updates about NFL news, NBA news. But let us know, man. Out here having a good time talking about sports. If you want to join our Discord, feel free. Chop it up. We're gonna eventually be doing some giveaways, maybe of some basketball cards. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, sir. If you're getting into the XFL, now obviously there's no football anymore, so not much to watch as far as football goes, but they got the XFL. We're going to have the San Antonio Brahmas here in San Antonio. I'm going to be at the game, so try to get to the Rock's going to be at the game too. You just scroll past him. He's going to be here in San Antonio tomorrow morning for the game.
Oh, there he is.
Going to all the XFL games, the opening game, so he'll be there tomorrow.
Nice. The Rock.
So I'll try to get some content for us, see if we can cook something up.
Yeah, let me know. That'll be dope.
Little S.A. Brahma short or something.
Yeah.
See what we can do.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the XFL and San Antonio, boy. Been scrolling through the Twitter, checking out some of the dunks.
Draft player bet 2,000 Matt McClung to win the dunk contest at 250 to odds. Payout was $7K.
He was plus 250. Dang, I should have put some money on that.
Have been a bad idea, bro. I probably would have hinted for
good odds right there. Plus 250.
I probably could have just something.
Man, bro.
I didn't know really that either. He was favored, right? I mean,
I don't know.
I thought he was favored.
I think Trey Murphy might have been favored, but I'm not sure.
The reaction.
Yeah, now this was Mac's moment right here, bro. Sure,
100%.
Boy busted out the high school jersey. Little Kobe over Yao Ming action, okay.
Yeah, I just was.
Yeah, man. So let us know who you got in the East and the West, who you got winning the ship, maybe who you got in the finals. Obviously, me and Ben just kind of breaking it down here. You know, the most interesting thing is really how this Western Conference is going to turn out. I think you can legitimately probably go down the list and pick at least 4 or 5 teams that maybe can come out of that conference. I think all eyes are, of course, on the Suns and the moves they made, but you got the deadly combination of Luka and Kyrie. You still got the Nuggets, who are pretty much a complete deep team. The Grizzlies, who haven't seen much from lately, but we know how explosive Ja and that team can be.
Bane, yeah.
You know, the Kings have been a surprise this year, but they're not a team that people want to face. They still need to get some experience. So the Clippers, obviously, with the two-headed monster of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, made a couple moves at the trade deadline. Don't really have a true point guard. They're playing Terrence Mann at the point guard right now.
Russell Westbrook, rumors they might get Russ.
Yeah, Russ is they're rumors. I'm not sure if he's quite the true point guard that they're looking for, but he's definitely a guy off the bench that could give them some energy. just don't know if Russ is that piece that's gonna necessarily put it over the top for me on them anyway. I think they're either with or without him. I still kind of look at them the same, unless Russ can come in and like really have a huge effect on that team. Which
Yeah, I know Paul George is kind of lobbying for him because he's played with them in OKC,
but we'll see, man. I mean, it's gonna be and if Pelicans get Zion back, Warriors get Curry back.
Yeah, I do got a question for you. So in this West, obviously the matchups are going to be crazy. We don't know what the matchups are going to be in the playoffs coming down because it's too close to call right now. But what matchup would you like to see in the first round the most? And I already have a feeling which matchup you're going to say, but I mean, which matchup would you like to see the most in the first round? I mean, it could go. I mean, you could see any matchup right now, so you could literally pick.
Man, you know what I would like to see, and I don't think this is going to happen. There's two scenarios here that I think could happen here.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that the Suns and Clippers are going to get to that second and third spot.
that's true.
I think if the Lakers can creep up somehow into like the 7th spot and take on, maybe see like a Lakers and Clippers first round matchup, that would be great. But I'm gonna go away from the Lakers because I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, they might not even get up there yet. They could just blow a dud if they don't get the chemistry and shit.
Maybe like a Warriors Grizzlies matchup. I think that would be
a juicy, really juicy first round.
Grizzlies in that top, and then the Warriors sneak in the 6th, 7th, or 8th spot. Maybe they can match up with the Grizzlies. But honestly, I think if the Warriors get there in the bottom, them matched up with any of those teams is going to be interesting. You know.
One matchup I could see possibly happening. I would love to see it just because the way the trade went down in Brooklyn. Suns and Mavs, bro, in the first round somehow if it happened.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
Suns and Mavs, bro. I mean, just come on.
I would like to
bro.
see those teams match up in the second round.
No, I know, but
in the first round that would be good. But I don't know if the Mavs have enough, bro. I mean, I know they got Kyrie.
That's what I'm saying. So I think they might drop down or stay at the bottom of the way, like the 6th seed. Or get the 7th seed somehow, and then the Suns creep up to that 3rd or 2nd seed. You know, I could see them possibly matching up the first round, but I don't know. I mean, the Mavs, they could pull it together and creep up even more, and the Kings could drop off. I don't know, or
Obviously, I mean, nobody wants to be in that playing game. You know, everyone's fighting to get to that top 6. So that's gonna be, and you can see that.
Yeah, they're not even going to care who they play as long as they make the 6th seed.
Yeah, as long as they're in that top 6, that gives them, to avoid that play-in. Because then that play-in is just a one-game tournament.
Well, the play-in, the play-in, you could be in the 7th seed and still get bounced, right? So.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think Suns Mavericks. I think that would be. I kind of had a feeling you were going to say that. I didn't want to say that, but that would probably be one of the most interesting. And I think it's gonna be interesting to see who matches up with the Nuggets in that first round.
It's funny you mentioned the Lakers possibly getting up there and matching with the Clippers or something, but I think that could be the matchup that we see is maybe the Lakers creep up to like the 9-10 spot, make the play-in, somehow get up to that A seed, and then end up playing the Nuggets in the first round. I would like to see that. I think that would be a good matchup, and it would help Jokic, have to get over that hump, get over that little, hurdle of him, and then they would have some tough matchups moving on though into the 2nd or 3rd into the conference finals. But I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, I think those teams, right? I think it's gonna be Pelicans, Warriors, Timberwolves, and maybe Lakers in that play-in. But I got out of those 4, I like the Pelicans or Warriors. And I know you had mentioned the Lakers matched up with the Nuggets in that first round. I'm not quite sure if they can beat the Nuggets, but
you would take the T-Wolves. So you're taking the T-Wolves over the Thunder and like the Trailblazers and Jazz?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Just because I think they look a little bit better with Mike Conley, and I think when they get Karl Anthony Towns back, I think that they'll start at least putting themselves in the conversation for the play-in. But again, I still like the Pelicans and Warriors out of those 4 teams. I think if the Pelicans, Zion got healthy and they ended up in that A spot, I think they could beat the Nuggets in a first round matchup.
Ooh, that would be juicy.
If they're fully healthy, the way that we saw the Pelicans playing in the beginning of the season.
Well, they had that first seed for a while in the beginning of the season.
The best team in the West. I think if they end up getting to that A seed with a fully healthy team in Zion, watch them give the Nuggets a run for their money.
Like that, Joel. Like that. Okay.
But
So yeah,
obviously, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, so obviously overall in the West, 1 through 8, we're gonna have some great after the play-in. We're gonna have some great first round matchups. All of them can honestly be first 7-round series. Like we don't even know. It all depends on the matchups too, because they could also be, you know, sweeps or 5-6 game series. But at the end of the day, man, the West is loaded. The East, obviously, we know who's going to come out. These top 4 teams, one of these top 4 teams, obviously, a lot of people lean towards these top 2 right here. Best records in the NBA. Going to be interesting who gets home court advantage in this, Joel. Who do you think needs to get home court advantage more, the Bucks or the Celtics, coming down the stretch after the All-Star break?
That's actually a great question. I don't think it matters too much between those teams, but I think in a game
because they could both win on the road, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you'll see that if they play each other. I think you'll see them both win on each other's home courts. But that, I know if you ask them, they would both want that game 7 at home.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
100%.
And this is actually to the point of what I was last year. So last year, so it was actually the Bucks who didn't play their starters the last game, so they'd have to match up with the Nets.
Yeah.
First round, right? So they gave the Celtics that last game, so the Celtics jumped them in the standings. Well, when it came down to when it came down to the next round, the Celtics had that home court and they won a game 7 at home. Obviously, the Bucks didn't have Middleton. You know, it was still a good series, but that just goes to show you that if, you know, the Bucks would have maybe stayed in that position and maybe had that home court, things could have possibly gone differently that game 7. But with that being said, I don't think it's going to matter much, but I think you would, like I said, either one of those teams would want to. Who needs it more? I'm going to say the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks would need the home court more than the Celtics would in this situation.
I'd say the Bucks more just because the Celtics know that they can beat them because they did it last year. But then again, like you said, they didn't have Middleton. But you know, the Celtics still ain't gonna change their mind. They're still gonna think they could beat them either way. So.
In the movies.
Yeah, and obviously the Bucks have the championship pedigree. They have the experience. The Celtics have been there last year, so either team is going to be fine. But I think the Bucks have a couple of newer players maybe that haven't been there, and I think that their role players would benefit from that game 7 being at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing you're looking at is the role players play better at home than they do on the road. So whose role players are going to need to play better for them to win? And I think it's going to be the Bucks.
Yeah, no, 100%. I completely agree with you.
I mean, that'll be definitely an epic series, a legendary series between those two teams. I mean, that's easily could be a championship matchup.
Yeah, that's gonna be nasty. Yeah,
the Bucks obviously won 10 in a row going into this All-Star break.
Yeah,
they're on a few.
Yeah. I mean, the Sixers and Cavs fans obviously are going to root for their teams. But, I mean, they just might not have enough firepower when it comes down to it in a 7-game series. We'll find out if they do coming down to it. But possibly match up with them in the second round. They can get past their matchups, you know?
Yeah. So. And you get down to it in a 7-game series by game, you know, game 4, game 5, 6, and 7. Those teams know each other so well that it's like, you're just grinding it out. You know, who wants it more at that point most of the time, you know?
Yep, exactly. Both teams have injuries. Team players banged up in the playoffs. Rotations get cut down, so...
Yeah.
A little bit of Kobe action right here. Rest in peace, Kobe. All-Star game. Doing his thing.
All-Star Kobe there. MVP Kobe.
Gotta love it. Appreciate everybody tuning in this late Saturday night. JB Ball Talk. We out here. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit the sub.
Yeah, they had Sean Marion in that All-Star game, dog. Holy. Goodness gracious. Sean Marion would not sniff an All-Star game today.
Miss Town out there, right? Oh, here's that dunk you were talking about, that Kobe dunk. Where yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nasty.
That was nasty. That was young Kobe, number 8. That was number 8 Kobe.
Yeah, young Kobe. Wasn't Afro Kobe, but still young Kobe.
Yeah, so overall, though, great night in the All-Star events. I mean, you called it with the three-point shootout, the Dame time, and then called it with the Matt McClung dunk contest. So, we're good calls tonight.
Each got a prediction right tonight. So
there it is, Weber State.
Weber State, boy. Oh, they did ask Ja about what he thought of Kevin Durant joining the Suns, and he said I'm ready, is what he said. So
Kevin Durant said that? Well, didn't he?
No, John Morant said that.
Oh, John Morant about that because he said earlier in the season that he wasn't worried about being in the West, right?
Yeah, he said he wasn't worried about any teams in the West, but
so they asked
him about KD. He's like, I'm ready. He just said, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Too bad he's not gonna be the one guarding him. It's probably gonna be Jared Jackson, right? I mean,
Dylan Brooks, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. They'll probably give him different looks, but
yeah, Zaire will guard. Yeah, a bunch of guys guard.
They give him different looks. But at the end of the day,
who's gonna guard Book, dog?
Yeah, exactly. I know. Put the second best defender on Book. Oh yeah,
because Jaren's gonna have to match. Jaren's gonna have to match up with Ayton.
The guy that could drop 70 on you, right?
I know, dude. That's the thing. It's like, how much better is Booker gonna be and these guys with KD? It's like you can't put your best defender on Booker anymore. A guy that, like you said, can drop 70 on your head. Like, what?
So overall, this was the best dunk of the night. I'm not gonna show it too long, but the Matt McClung first one jumped over two guys and then off the backboard and dunked it in. It's just much hang time, man. Little guy
probably the best dunk of the night. And Mac didn't. What was important with Mac, he didn't miss any dunks. He made it on his first attempt every time. That always makes things much more exciting. Shaq's reaction.
Yeah. Big D's. I'm surprised this guy even knows who Matt McClung is. You don't know any players in the NBA.
Probably doesn't know him until tonight. Said, I'm sorry, young fella. I wasn't familiar with your game.
Talking about Rui, yeah. So let us know tomorrow night. Early MVP votes for the All-Star game. Who y'all got? I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. I'm leaning towards LeBron because he's getting up there in age. He might want to put on a show. Could be one of his last few All-Stars. I mean, he's probably got a couple more years left in him, but either him. I feel like him or Luka, one of the two.
Yeah, I could see Luka going off. I kind of think.
Or maybe Kyrie. Yeah, I was gonna say the third. My third was gonna say Kyrie. That's my third.
And, honestly, bro, because people hate on him so much, the players might be trying to give him the ball and might be trying to see if he can get hot. You know.
And I love seeing Uncle. And I was gonna say I love seeing his handles and Uncle Drew. Everybody wants to see that, so they're gonna give him for that too. So
I think he's a strong candidate. Another guy too is for me is the guy I picked tonight, Dame. I think Dame's another guy that he's gonna come out and he'll have a big game too.
Well, if he gets hot from three early and just starts splashing them all over the place from like fucking logos and shit, like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if he gets hot early, we'll see what Ja does.
Ja's gonna make some plays too. Yeah,
a sleeper for me could be Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, bro. I think he's gonna go in and just like, if he's gonna go in and not worry about it, he's just gonna jack up shots.
Well, that and also he's gonna go in for some nasty dunks. That one can get up.
Yeah, I think he could be a sleeper pick for the MVP.
No, I like that. I like Ant-Man. Let us know in the chat. Anybody got some early MVP votes? Make sure you hit that like button. We out here. We're going to be streaming tomorrow night for that All-Star game. You already know. See the picks. See what goes down.
Sir.
See what LeBron picks. See what Giannis picks. Giannis is probably not going to be playing, so we'll see who his replacement is. But
True.
So they'll throw someone in there, you know.
Appreciate the subs tonight. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Notice we jump up a little bit after the All-Star game. People just want to tune in for the talk. Don't be shy. Feel free to chime in. Let us know what you think. Give us a topic we can jump off of. But just out here having a good time. JB Ball Talk on a Saturday night, boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Trying to think of some good questions to go along with what's going on tonight. But yeah, we've had a great stream so far. Make sure y'all hit that like button, like Joel said. We were going over some of the standings. Obviously, the East is not as crowded as the West, so that's how it is. And in real life, it's the opposite. There's more people living on the East Coast than there is on the West Coast. I'm pretty sure, right? So.
I don't know. There's a shitload of people in California, dog.
That is true, but I'm saying it's more spread out. They're more spread out. But like,
Yeah.
more people live on top of each other on the East Coast, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Anybody
And
tuning in is probably in the West Coast right now, by the way.
This XFL game earlier, the Vegas Vipers and the Arlington Renegades. The Arlington team got 2 pick sixes.
For real?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Won the game.
That's awesome. Yeah, hopefully you see some sick plays tomorrow, man. I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, it should be good.
Are you just gonna record some stuff, or you wanna? I mean, I might be able to get on Discord and record.
Yeah, I
it,
think I'm
but...
gonna try to record some stuff and then maybe like make a short out of it or something.
Okay. Yeah, you could do your thing. I mean, you already know how to do it on there, so.
Yeah, I think that would probably be
phone.
the best thing if I can just get some content. Oh.
Now, yeah, I want to try. I might go by the store tomorrow and see if there's any packs of basketball cards. I'm not gonna get a lot, like a full box. I might just get a few though, and maybe we can try to do a little, open some packs and maybe give some cards away. Anybody in the chat wants to chime in?
A giveaway.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a little giveaway tomorrow night. If I put in the title, we'll definitely get some
Maybe
people
we'll
in.
do an all-star giveaway. I know I have a Dame Lillard card. I have a LeBron card. I got a couple cards that maybe we can give out a couple all-star giveaway cards.
Yeah, if you want to, just let me know. You could just show them on stream, and then when we meet up, whatever, I can mail them off to whoever wins. Taryn Gibson in the chat says, full support, TNT, NBA, all support, everything is chill, and you're live, and also LeBron James of the NBA, big facts. Okay. So, man, appreciate you tuning in, Taryn. Appreciate the chat, man. JB Ball Talk, we out here.
JB Ball Talk.
Yeah, appreciate you, Gibson.
LeBron James.
Thanks for tuning in. LeBron at the Super Bowl crowning himself. I don't think a lot of people were too fond of that, but I mean,
man,
when you're LeBron James, you really care what people are saying.
You can sneak in a couple more rings, man. In that good conversation.
Sneak in. Yes, sneak in a ring that's not from the bubble. Nah, I'm just kidding.
It's gonna be tough, man. At the end of the day, though, he has a lot of records to show it for the longevity, so he's always gonna be in that conversation. Him and MJ are always gonna be in that conversation. There's Darren with the sub.
I think
Taryn. I'm sorry, Taryn.
I think
Gibson.
What were we talking about? Yeah, look, I think next year is gonna be their year, bro.
Well, if they can get what's his name in the offseason, Mr. Kyrie.
Well, what about this? I'm gonna tell you, I'm not on that topic. If they don't get Kyrie, there's another guy out there who just signed with Clutch Sports.
Free agent. Who's gonna be a free agent next year?
Could possibly be a free agent next year, and it's a guy named Fred VanVleet. Who?
Well, that was they were probably trying to trade for, right?
Yeah, that's a guy that was on the trade market, but what he can do is he can decline his option coming up, and he can become a free agent. So he just signed with Clutch Sports, which is, if anybody doesn't know, Clutch Sports is, of course, the agency that LeBron's buddy Rich Paul pretty much.
And AD's in it, right? AD's with them.
Yeah, he pretty much invented it. He was like the head agent, and of course LeBron has a lot to do with it. He signed to it. They signed guys like AD, De'Aaron Fox as well, and they just signed Fred VanVleet. So there's a bunch of guys in that mix, but every time you see Clutch Sports reach out to somebody and sign them, you're thinking, there may be some recruit going on there too, possibly. You don't know. Some tampering behind the scenes that we don't see.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's got to be something going on back there.
So that's an interesting guy, but I think next year is, obviously LeBron getting older and everything.
I think VanVleet could help him a lot. You're right. I mean, I could see that happening if they can't get Kyrie for some reason, but I think Kyrie would be the one that they're going to go for. But then again, yeah. I feel VanVleet would be more dependable when it comes down to, like, I guess, health-wise. Like, not saying Kyrie isn't dependable, like, because a lot of stuff was out of his control when he was like in New York with the whole mandate and all that crap. We're not gonna get into that, but at the end of the day, like health wise, I think Van Veek's maybe been a little healthy than Kyrie, but
yeah, you never know what's gonna happen with Kyrie, pretty much. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
just it's a mystery all the way around if he's gonna be there for the season or not. And they could just go with the strategy of just building on what they have and just adding to their depth, so that way next year they don't have to play LeBron so many minutes and they can have depth so they can win those games. You know, some games, squeak out some games where they don't need LeBron and AD as much, and have some young guys that can, you know, try to win some games during the season for them. Because with LeBron, the rate that he's going, the minutes as he's playing, I mean, I don't know if he can do that for another, you know, 2 years and still be playing at a super high level when his son comes in and things like that, you know?
yeah, no, you're 100% right. He's gonna need some help, and I think that's why they made those moves they did, was because I've noticed that even this last game when they played him, I don't know if they played him maybe a little more than 30 minutes. I don't know. Right, they try to play those minutes, but
you have to see him cut back on some of those minutes, especially if you make a long playoff run.
We got Donovan B in the chat saying, "Do you like the Utah Jazz, man? They got a good young team. They made some moves at the trade deadline, obviously." But I mean, I don't think they're gonna make any noise. I really don't see them making that play in. They made some noise early in the season, but it's gonna be tough, man. There's a lot of teams in that West. I'd be surprised if they did.
The one thing I like about the Jazz, though, because even though they're not a team that you expect them to do anything, they're a team that plays hard. Like every time you play that team, you know they're gonna play hard and they're gonna come. They're not obviously like tanking or anything. So they definitely do have some young pieces. You know, Kessler's a good rookie that they have. Sexton's a good guy that they have as well. You know, they got some good pieces. They're obviously trying to position themselves to get some good draft picks. They have a whole lot of draft capital. So
They get a lot of drafts.
See how Danny Ainge decides to build that team here in the near future. It is going to take a couple of years, but they may have some young pieces there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Joe, we got Joey in the chat. Welcome in, Joey. Says the NBA skills competition was painful to watch. No one did close to good. Interesting. Yeah. He said there was a team that had 0 points. Crazy. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think it wasn't the rookie team, right? It was the one before that.
It was the Giannis team.
The Giannis team. No, they had 3 points. Actually, it was the rookie team that had 0 points, I think.
Oh, in that shooting competition.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I don't know.
No, but overall, though, I think the Giannis team, they didn't win any of the competitions, so they ended up with 0 points. But
Joe says the Clay and Steph would have actually made points. They used wrong players for the competition is all. Hey, yeah, that is true. I think Steph is hurt right now, but you know Clay could have been in there maybe with Draymond. Draymond was talking all that smack on the sideline.
Bro, there was one time, I think in like 2004 or 5 in the skills competition, it was like Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. Like they had all these stars. And
like a stacked team, right?
Yeah, with no, that's when it was just an individual thing, though. When they just did the individual.
When they were separate. They weren't a team, yeah.
They were all in there. It's just like.
That was when they were on separate teams. That was before they went to the Heat, right? Talking about.
Oh, yeah, that was when.
He was on
they first got drafted when they
when they were young. Yeah. Appreciate all the subs, guys. Looks like we gained a few subs. Anybody tuning in with the subs? Much love, man. Welcome in, JB Ball Talk.
JB Ball Talk.
Yeah, the skills competition was kind of weak. I think the NBA's starting to put more emphasis on the 3-point contest just because that's the way that the game is going.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, Mac put a little excitement into the dunk contest tonight. If he comes back next year, maybe that'll get some other notable names in there. Who knows? We'll see some other good dunkers. Really, I think they should just start getting dunkers off the street, bro. There's some like dunkers. No, I'm serious. Like there's some like professional dunkers.
Well, I've seen that one guy with the crazy hair, right? His name's Jordan something. He does some crazy dunks. He can jump over people and do like 360s like Matt or like Mac.
You go online.
Yeah.
You never know what they're gonna do under the bright lights in a stage like that, but. I mean, maybe you could have like 2 separate dunk contests, like a dunk contest with like non-NBA guys and then a dunk contest with like NBA guys. I don't know. But there's a lot of guys on the streets that can dunk that, you know, that's all they do is dunk. They don't hoop, right? They just, they may be hoopers,
that's their specialty. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like their best attribute may be dunking the ball.
Yeah, they might not be able to shoot or you know, play off the ball or pass or do anything else, but they can dunk it. Joey says.
Okay. Go ahead, Ben. I was just saying, I'm with you on that, bro.
Yeah, he says I think they should wear their own jerseys like back in the day. Yeah, where they wear. That was classic, bro.
I actually tweeted that the other day because they put a bunch of there was a tweet like FanDuel or something put a bunch of jerseys and said which one would you pick, and I said, well, they should just wear their own jerseys like they used to. That was the best time.
Yeah, man. The home and away, they just wear their colored and the white.
Yeah. And that shit was plain.
Tell it was dope, man. I hope they do that. That'd be cool. I think there's too much endorsement in these days and too many people coming in with ideas about jerseys like for the All-Star game for them to maybe do that. They're like, oh, that's too boring and we've done that before, but
we got to change it up.
Yeah, we got to change it up. But at the end of the day, man, if the fans want that, maybe they should have a vote, man, for the fans to do that. That'd be cool. But
yeah, that was classic. That was one of the best All-Star games too when they used to wear their own jerseys. That one game when the East came back with like Stephon Marbury and Allen Iverson and Jason Kidd and all those guys. I know the West was up big and they came back at the end and Stephon Marbury hit a shot to win it. That shit was live.
That was so sick.
I don't remember what year that was. If y'all remember what year that was, shout out in the chat. I don't remember what year that was, but that was
probably be early 2000s, right? Or night in the.
I say it was like 03 or something. But.
That was LeBron. Well, LeBron would have been just drafted in rookie year. Joey said, yeah, it's because it's sponsored, and that makes sense because I think it's sponsored by like Kia, the whole All Star, like something like that. So they advertise. Yeah, so they fucking probably choose the jerseys. Gosh.
And plus, they can sell them too. They can sell those All-Star jerseys.
Joey says, I feel like the All-Stars back in the day were way more competitive too. You're right about that, man, 100%. I will say though, the past few years, I think when they changed the rules a little bit to where they have a target scoring, it got a little more competitive. I think that with past. Oh no, actually, the past time it wasn't target scoring, right? They forgot how they did it at the end.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's the Elam ending, like in the TBT where they target score at a certain, like they'll get to a certain point in the game
in the fourth quarter and they do the target score. Yeah.
That target score and they turn off the clock. But yeah, like you said, I think you're right. That's made it a little bit more competitive, at least at the end of the games.
Not in the beginning, but
yeah, the beginning they're just like showboating and stuff all the time anyway. But he is right. I think back in the day, they especially towards the end, they got a little bit more competitive. Even during the game, sometimes when they were trying to do one-on-one battles and stuff, they would go at it.
That is true. All right. Well, you want to wrap it up, or you want to keep going? I don't know. I think we pretty much covered a lot of it.
Yeah, we can.
We'll try to
get back on tomorrow, but we got a little momentum rolling. We appreciate you guys coming through, spitting it with us, listening to us.
Yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Great night in All-Star. We got another one tomorrow night. Make sure y'all tune in. We might end up doing a giveaway tomorrow night. If not, we'll do one soon. Some basketball cards if you're into that. Little b-ball action.
Hell yeah.
Make sure you check out our shorts, all our other videos. Be out here. Let us know who you got in the West and the East, who you got think is making the finals. That's one thing we didn't really touch on, Joel. I don't know if you want to make an early pick for the finals. I don't know. Did we make one early in the season? I don't know if we ever did. I guess we can make one here at that halfway point, but
I think I'm going to stay away from that right now just because
it's too hard to call in the West.
Yeah, well, we haven't even seen, the Suns yet, and we haven't even seen some of these teams. So
that's true.
It's just, I think it's a little too early to call right now.
It is.
And honestly, I was gonna say another point on the West. I think really it's gonna come down to the health. I think that the healthiest team in the West may end up making it to the finals, bro. So that's gonna be good luck and health. Like you saw the Grizzlies, Ja get hurt with the Grizzlies last night. That took them out of contention. You see some guys get hurt throughout the playoff run, and it could just come down to basic luck for some of these teams and who stays the healthiest. So that could end up in it, but. Either way, definitely some good talking points when it comes to the Western Conference. I'm not ready to pick anybody right now. I mean, if I had to, just based on paper, I'm going Suns Celtics. I think I'm gonna take that finals right now. And honestly, I like the Bucks in the East, but I'm just gonna say the Celtics just because Chris Middleton and the Bucks they're just starting to get rolling with the 10-game winning streak. I think they're starting to become what we're gonna see them become.
Back where they were, yeah.
But the Celtics have been doing a little more consistently this year. Now Jaylen Brown is hurt right now, so they still do need to wait for him to come back. But I think as far as depth wise, I'll take the Celtics in the East. So I'm gonna say Suns Celtics in the finals. Obviously, that move with Kevin Durant putting the Suns over the top if they're healthy, team's gonna be a problem. That's just my early pick. I think it's too early to tell. I think we got a whole new season coming up after this All-Star break. But
yeah, no, I completely agree with you. On paper, it looks like those two teams, maybe the Bucks. I have something to say about that in the East. We got Chandler in the chat saying, "I like the Bulls."
Oh man, are we doing this again, Chandler?
Chandler, the Bulls. They got D Rose in his prime again. They did.
What are we talking about? Talking about the Buffalo Bulls? What are we talking about?
We're just playing, man. Welcome in, Chan. Glad to have you back, man. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that looks like the matchup right now. I think the only team that can give them some trouble is maybe the Nuggets. They're sleeping on the Nuggets, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
Nuggets can find a way to, maybe Jokic will take on the challenge and guard KD, and then it'll be kind of tough for him. I don't know if he has enough lateral movement to keep up with him on the wing. He might be able to get around him too easy, but then again, and then they would still put someone else on book, like you said. So
that's the thing is I think that's the main thing when it comes to playing a team like that is how you're going to match up with them, right? And how you gonna slow down or one and then not slow down another, or it's just
what are you gonna do? Pick your poison. Exactly.
Like KD played for the Warriors. I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but I don't see why KD and a duo of KD and Booker can't be as lethal as a duo of KD and Steph.
It's gonna be almost just as duo or just as deadly. And then plus they got Chris Paul to kind of run the show, and then you got Aiden in the paint just getting all those easy buckets, man, all those easy offensive boards because all the teams are worried about KD and Booker getting wide open shots. Joey said maybe Chandler back in the day with Jordan, and which is true. Caruso, he says Caruso's trying to drop 50. Okay, I'll believe that when I see it. Joey says Jordan never had to play a game 7 in the finals play. Okay.
That is true. And I don't know if is that a knock against him or like
I don't know what he's trying to say. But
he's so good that no team ever took him to a game 7 in the finals, right? I mean,
that is true.
But I think he went through a lot of his battles in the East. Like he went through a lot of
that's true. Series. Every time he gets to the finals, he won. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually when he got to the finals, they were usually the clear cut. I mean, they were always the clear cut favorite, but they were usually a clear cut favorite. The Jazz were pretty good at one point, but I think they played the Sonics, the Trailblazers in the finals as well. So a couple of teams that were kind of one hit wonders and didn't really. And they played the Suns, Barkley Suns in the finals. So.
Yeah,
teams that were kind of one-hit wonders during that time in the West, but that's kind of how the West was back in the day. It was a couple different teams each year that were making it to the finals. It wasn't really one consistent team until Jordan left, and then you saw the Rockets, and then the Spurs, and then obviously. So.
Exactly. I completely agree. Chandler says I'm joking, of course, about the Bulls. He said, I got the Celtics or the Bucks in the East. Okay, I like that, obviously. And the Nuggets or the Mavs in the West. Ooh, so those Suns? Or are you just counting out the Suns completely right now? Don't tell me that. Okay. Joey says, they beat the Jazz back finals. Oh, yeah. Well, they did. Yeah, they did do that.
Yeah, the Jazz were the only team that made it there a couple times against them. But
No, yeah. Chandler, man, how did you enjoy that All-Star festivities? We still got the All-Star game tomorrow night, but catch it or what? Let us know, man.
Hey, actually, Joey, the Rockets should have been in one of those finals, man. I still remember when John Stockton hit that 3 to win in Game 7, man. The Rockets should have been there. When the Rockets picked up Pippen and Barkley, and they were trying to make that run.
I remember that, yeah.
Finals, and I remember I was going for him, and freaking John Stockton hit that shot.
Oh, Chandler says I'm gonna roast the Suns with my own boys. Let me get in real quick.
Uh-oh.
If you want to hop in real quick before we get off, you can, man. I mean, we haven't pulled the trigger yet. Might be on for a few more minutes, chilling. It's a Saturday night. Let us know. Let me know when you're in the Discord. But Yeah, we out here. JB Ball Talk. Make sure you hit that like button, sub.
Chandler's trying to get this thing going.
Yeah, Chandler's trying to get the conversation popping right now about the East and the West. Let's get back in the booth real quick, and I'll pull up the East for him, or I'll pull up the West for him because he's gonna talk about the Suns.
So Chandler's got the Mavs or the Nuggets coming out of the West. Interesting.
Well, the Nuggets are up there, like you said. We could be sleeping on them.
Yeah, a lot of people sleeping on the Nuggets. I know a lot of people not giving them credit, especially when they have the back-to-back MVP on their team as well.
Stockton had a ridiculous IQ at all times. Sister, yeah, man. Stockton was a beast.
Oh, yeah. One of the greatest pure point guards of all time for sure.
Man, what up, man? What it do?
Chandler in the house.
I think he's in. I dragged him in, but let's see when he talks. He might not. Maybe setting up his mic.
I'll tell you who's not in the house. The Suns.
Is the house burning for the Suns, Chandler?
The house is gone. They are on the market, but they're not going to buy one. Chris Paul. I'm gonna roast them by their starting lineup.
Oh, here we go. Hey, Chris Paul just dropped 19 assists the other night.
Yeah, well, he needs some assistance and 2-0 leads. Then you got Devin Booker. He's not even a basketball player. He's just a Kobe stan. Who's there? Well, and Devin Booker, he has fell off in my opinion. He had so much talk last year, and I've heard more about Spencer Dinwiddie than I have Devin Booker.
Okay.
Dinwiddie did say he could cook some All-Stars tonight.
Yeah, he was talking smack.
Devin Booker, all he does is talk smack. He he'll give you a few games, but that man has finally been shut up since
Luka did it to him. Yeah.
Since Luka beat him in that series, and Donovan Mitchell went over him by 1 point in the all-time scoring in one game.
We got Joey saying Steve Nash was ridiculous for assists too. Yes, he was.
Oh yeah, Steve Nash, one of my favorite players to watch of all time.
And now, who's their small forward? I forgot. T.J. Warren.
Probably. Either him or they might start.
They got Josh Okogie or whatever.
Yeah, who? Who?
Damian Lee. They got
who?
Yeah, I know they ain't got a lot of guys on the bench, but what do you think? What do you think their ceiling is for the Suns? And I mean, obviously you're not high on them. What is their ceiling? You think?
You think they're just gonna make the Western Conference Finals and lose, or what?
I mean,
their ceiling is at least maybe 6, 5. I'll give them a 3 or 4 seed at most.
So you're thinking
because they've already lost a lot of games. They've already lost a lot of games. There's no coming back up to that kind of spot at one point.
Well, they're sitting at 5th right now, and they are
3 games out. 3 games out of second.
So
when will KD come back?
Well, actually, not in the loss column because the Grizzlies have 22 losses and the Suns have 28. So in the loss column, they're not just 3 games back. There might be a little more.
But they're talking like how I'm not calling y'all out, but I'm calling people out that have said that just Kevin Durant coming in is going to change everything. That's like, because if you remember, there have been a lot of big threes that did not work. Kevin Durant was a part of one of them in Brooklyn.
Yeah. But Chan, you also got to look at the pieces and how they fit, because obviously Kyrie and Harden and Durant, they're all the same type of player. They all need the kind of ball. Well, I mean, Harden needs the ball in his hands. KD can play off the ball. He proved that a little bit in Golden State, but he mostly needs the ball in his hands too to make plays and stuff. And so does Kyrie. But this piece, the Suns team, you look at it, and Chris Paul doesn't need to score or need the ball in his hands to play his game. He can facilitate. And then you got Booker and AD and KD coming off curls, and you got AD in the paint. Like, how are you gonna stop that, man? Like, just like I don't understand. Like, That's the one
Yeah,
thing I don't understand.
you look at it on paper.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you how you stop it. I'll tell you how to stop it. Okay. So you need someone who can defend. You just need
If they're
at
healthy,
least a pretty good, at least a really good defender, at least a good defensive player. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Bulls fan, but I'm saying they don't even have to be a starting point guard, just a point guard or guard that can defend well, like Caruso, to just be attached to Chris Paul's hip.
Well, yeah,
That
they're gonna have someone, whoever guarding Chris Paul is gonna put pressure on him for sure. But Chris Paul is used to that. He can. I think he can handle that.
But I do see what you're saying with, KD's shown that he can play off ball, but he's coming off of a team where he always had the ball in his hands.
Yeah,
that is true. It's gonna be a little bit of adjustment, but I think he knows, like kind of like when he was with the Warriors, that he might have to make an adjustment and not get as many touches. Definitely with Booker there, but
and then
they want to try to keep Aiden happy too, So.
Yeah, but with Booker, he's definitely he's been changing. He's definitely had to adjust to changing his role with his teammates. But I don't know if this is I think this might tip him over the edge a little bit. I'm not talking about bad chemistry, but I'm talking about he's going to be trying to demand. He's going to be trying to beat Kobe.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. They haven't played a game together yet, so we'll see what happens when KD comes back healthy. We'll see how they mesh, but it's going to be interesting what kind of looks Booker gets once KD's on the floor with him and they're both on the floor together. Joel, what is your take on it? I know you haven't chimed in a sec.
Yeah, well, I think KD's only going to make all them better. I mean, kind of to piggyback on what you said with them in Brooklyn, you saw KD, James Harden, Kyrie, probably 3 of the top 10 scorers in the league at that time, 3 of the top 10 one-on-one players that we've seen at that time. So a little bit of a different dynamic with those 3 in there and then a bunch of role players around them. Here in Phoenix, they kind of already have the structure, the infrastructure. They already have the kind of foundation set, much like the Warriors did at the time when they picked up KD. Not saying that they're at that level as a team-wise, but they already have kind of that system in place where KD just kind of needs to come in, be himself, and add to that chemistry and system that they already have. I think it's a little bit of different dynamic because you go to a team where you're kind of playing iso ball, and then you go to a team who's really focused more on a team level of offense and a team level of defense. And the good thing about Chris Paul now is he's going to be able to play off the ball so much. Like you said, Chandler, he will have guys that'll guard him full court, like a Caruso, like a Grand Theft Alvarado. These guys are going to want to play him full court, but he's not going to have to bring up the ball. Devin Booker can handle the ball, play pick and roll ball, and make plays for his teammates. Kevin Durant can do all of that. And Durant and Booker are 2 of the best ISO players in the league right now as well. So you have 2 dynamic scorers, along with Chris Paul, who is one of the greatest point guards of his generation. We already know that he's a phenomenal passer and a phenomenal playmaker and makes his teammates better. We know that for a fact. He's done it for every team he's been on. And then you got a guy like DeAndre Ayton, who he's kind of the X factor in this thing, right? Is he going to be able to dominate the paint against other big guys in the West and be able to hold his own down there? But this is going to free up so many things for him on pick and rolls, on pick and pops, on little mid-range jumpers. He's going to have so many open spots to get these shots. And, he's going to have to focus a lot on the defensive end, I think. He's going to have to be that defensive anchor for them. But the amount of space and, just freedom this is going to give Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Ayton is going to be off the charts. And I think that's a factor that a lot of people are talking about, but a lot of people tend to overlook when you add a guy like KD to your team, because then you shift your best defender, like we had mentioned earlier, Ben, to KD, and now your second best defender is on Chris Paul, and or Devin Booker, and your third best defender is on Chris Paul maybe, and it's just like, okay, so that kind of changes the dynamic of how you want to play this team when it comes down to it. So there are going to be other teams in the West that may be able to stick with them as far as offensively too. So it's going to be interesting to see. But if that team, they can get KD integrated in that structure, quickly, and he starts playing team ball and they start playing deep team defense, that team is going to be a problem. And I don't see why they can't be just as lethal and deadly as that Warriors team was with KD
Yeah, they're
see
gonna.
why
They're,
they
yeah,
And then they picked up Terrence Ross as well. Terrence Ross had a great game for him. He's going to be another great role player for them off the bench as well.
they're gonna have a lot of pressure on them, but they're gonna still go out there and do their thing. Joel, just piggyback a little what you said. I think late in the games, yeah, they're gonna put the ball obviously in KD or Booker's hands and let them make plays. And then Chris Paul will probably be out there, spotting up because he could shoot. And then on defense, they'll probably might even sub out Chris Paul, play a little offense defense towards the end of the games. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the games, and for some, like if Chris Paul in the playoffs, like he did last year, even in their finals run, you can tell he's not 100%. He's hurting. He can't maybe play at the level that we've seen accustomed to from him at the end of games. They can plug in, they can put in T.J. Warren, they can put in Terrence Ross, they can keep Booker, KD, and Ayton in, and then have Booker play the point, have KD play the point, and they can handle that at the end of games, like you said, Ben, and they can make plays for their teammates. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it takes so much pressure off of Chris Paul having to necessarily run that team and having to make things happen all the time for his teammates. Like now you have KD that can do that. Booker's already shown he can do that when Chris Paul's out. So, yeah, man, it's going to be.
So is there any team, my bad, Chan, I don't mean to leave you out of the conversation for a sec, but is there, for both, this is a question for both of y'all though, but is there any team in the West, Chan might have an idea on which team they can do this, they can match up good with the Suns defensively and maybe give them some type of problems, on the defense, on the Suns offensive side, they're on the defensive end for them, for the other team.
Yeah, Clippers 100%.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I thought that you were gonna say that
because of KD
and the length, the Paul George
and Paul George. I mean, they're the team, and then you got Terrence Mann out there too, who's a defensive guy. You can put him out there on Chris Paul, and then Zubac can try to hold his own as far as big bodying with Ayton down low. That's a team there that I think could maybe give them some issues on the defensive end. But I mean, you're not going to stop this team. Obviously, you can try to slow them down a little bit, but that's a team. And I think that you look at just individual defensive player wise, that's a team that you're like, maybe they can try to slow them down a little bit.
Yeah. So just to break it down, I think the three teams that could possibly give the Suns some trouble in the West when it comes down to it, like if the Suns stay healthy, they get chemistry, and they look like the team on paper like we think they're going to look, assuming all that happens, I think the three teams that can give them trouble maybe are the Clippers, like you said, the Nuggets, who we haven't talked about much, the sneaky up at the top of the West, and then the Grizz, I think, are the three teams, in my opinion. And other than that, I mean, I don't know. The other teams are kind of tossed up. Zion, maybe if he gets healthy. The Warriors, maybe if they get healthy. But
and this is defensively, I think the Warriors, if they're a healthy team, they're a team that can maybe keep up with them offensively. I'm not sure if they could slow them down at all defensively though, and that could be an issue.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not super high on the Grizzlies right now, just because they started off the year hot, then they kind of fell off a little bit. They kind of got into this little shit talking battle on Twitter and everybody clowning on them and stuff. So
they just need to get back to playing basketball.
Yeah, they just need to get back to hooping and playing together as a team and forget about what other people are saying. But I'm not super high on them, but I do like the Nuggets. What you say about the Nuggets? The Nuggets got some good pieces. They got some good defensive pieces too. KCP over there, Bruce Brown. They got some good pieces. And they got some firepower too.
Yeah, they get Bookers, but they can definitely get Bookers with different looks. They're gonna have some trouble getting maybe guarding KD, but I mean, everybody's gonna have trouble guarding KD at the end of the day. So.
But yeah, nobody can guard KD. But
yeah, exactly. So I mean, what am I saying? Chan, my bad. I know you're muted. You want to chime in, bro? Go free.
So first of all,
hopefully we try to change your mind a little bit, but I don't know if it worked.
Some great points from Joel. Some great.
Oh,
points.
not for me, man. Damn, I appreciate that, bro.
Listen,
I was just playing.
Listen, that really. If only my friend listened to these, because he's a Suns fan, but I agree with how the teams that I have that are not going to slow down, because it's hard for me to decide who can, so I'm just going to say who I think won't slow them down. Okay. So definitely the Grizzlies, because they're talking, but they're not walking.
I like that.
That's facts,
Clippers
right?
the Clippers can most definitely, because Kawhi can guard Booker, Kawhi can guard Chris, Kawhi can certainly guard any of their small forwards, and definitely KD. So, but it's just going to depend on how well that is. Just it's game to game. It's going to be game to game for the Suns, depending how high their seeding is. It's going to be game to game for their opponent. But I feel like it just really depends who they get matched up with the playoffs. But teams like the Grizzlies, the Warriors, I'm just not really. I'm blanking right now, but just those high octane offensive teams.
Yeah.
But they are just not going to be able to keep up with the Suns.
Yeah.
Because because with a player, not just a team. If you have a good point guard like Chris, and I'm not taking back anything I said, I'm just agreeing with you now. But just with a person who can pass like Chris, someone who can shoot the ball as efficiently as Booker and KD can, you need to have a lot of synergy in every game you play.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
And I just don't see any of these high octane offense teams, because offense is good, but no matter how less defense you're gonna see, if I believe in anything, it's that defense wins championships.
Yeah.
You got LeBron. You have LeBron's block on Iguodala. You have most recent example, Giannis's block on Ayton.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
And
that was 2 years ago. I remember that. It was nasty.
And it's
yeah, when you get deep in those series, you're gonna need to get some defensive stops to
exactly
swing the game one way or the other. Yeah.
No matter what age, no matter what era we are and ever will be, and in basketball, it will always come down. It might not seem like it, but it will always come down to who plays the better defense.
Yeah, because there's so many good shot makers these days, right? Like that these star players are going to bring that, but it's like who's gonna be able to lock down at the end of the game and get a stop?
Who's gonna make the extra effort? Yeah.
And to one of your points, you made a good point on some of these offensive powered teams that won't really be able to maybe keep up with them on the offensive end. I do think some of those teams, though, and I'll use one as an example, the Mavericks. I think those teams are going to have to attack those smaller guards and use their offense almost like their defense. Devin Booker's not the biggest guard. Chris Paul obviously is a smaller guard. If you have somebody like Luka and Kyrie attacking those two all game offensively, not that Devin's going to be guarding Luka all game, but if you can get those matchups and have them attack those smaller guards and try to wear them down on defense a little bit, it maybe could affect their offensive game a little bit. But I'm still reaching at that point, but I think that's some of these teams' strategy may be, let's go at them offensively so much, or go at them so much on defense that maybe it affects them on the offensive end at the end of the day. But again, the Suns also are a team that play that team defense. They have that team defense type structure. They communicate very well. So, and to Chandler's point, that's what it comes down to in the playoffs, that team defense, like the Bucks when they won their ship. We saw the Celtics on their run last year, how well they played defense as a team together. And then we saw it from when the Warriors made their runs, they were always top 5 in defensive, stats. So that's obviously going to play a huge role. I think typically when we see teams make it to the finals, they're usually either in the top 5 defensive ratings and the top 5 offensive ratings is usually what we see. We usually see teams at the end that are in the top 5 defensive ratings. Teams like the Bucks, the Celtics.
Yeah.
Teams that are.
Well, the game slows down in the playoffs, definitely. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
On the line, so you gotta get stops at crunch time situations.
That's why it's so important to have superstars too, when the game slows down at the end of playoffs. Because you want those superstars to go make plays. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Dallas is gonna be a scary team in the playoffs. Luka and Kyrie could do that as long as they're in the game at the end of the games. You never know what can happen with them, so gotta be careful with them too. But yeah, I like the points y'all made. I was gonna talk about Joey in the chat. He said this a little while ago. I don't know if you're still here, Joey, but Good question. Yeah, in the chat, he said, who would be your starting five, all-time starting five, any player in their prime? So he's talking all prime starting five. Who would be? And that's a tough question, man. Think about that for a sec. But
we should make just a general video about this. This would be a good one. That's a great question.
yeah, it's so controversial, man. There's so many greats out there, man. It'd be so hard to choose. But yeah, I mean, can't really go wrong, I guess. Picks.
I mean, I start off with Jordan and LeBron, and then from there, I think it make it a little tougher.
Yeah.
I think I would include maybe Duncan on my team. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, and also it all depends too what you're talking about in their prime to go win a game, like to beat like another team, or to be like the best team ever, like assembled, basically the conversation, I guess.
Something that I think would be, it depends if I'm very sure he's asking like just straight up starting five, but just would you, if you were asked this question, what would the first thing you think? A 5-man, a 6-man, or like a full starting and bench? Because when I hear all time starting five, I'll think of a 6-man as well. But just like it really depends how you pick it. If you're choosing a bench, or if you're choosing straight up.
It's hard enough to choose a top
10.
It's hard
enough to choose top 10.
But like Ben said too, there's got to be some if there's no criteria to it, if it's just whatever, then yeah. But if there's criteria to it, maybe. But I mean, for me, I don't know. It's hard for me to rank. I like to put players in tiers. Like I have maybe a first tier of players and like a second tier of players, and then like another tier of players, instead of ranking them like 1, 2, 3. Like LeBron and Jordan are in a tier of their own. Like nobody else is in that tier, and then you drop down
we should do like
you get like Wilt, Russell, Matt, or some of those guys, and some of those older guys I never even really saw play a lot. Just highlights. You just see highlights, so it's like
we weren't alive and around enough to see him play.
Yeah, it's hard. We didn't see him all the time. So you think a guy that you see every day now is better than a guy that was back in the day, but you never really saw them much.
Well, and also there's a lot more cameras and lights and everything these days than there is back in the day. Like, I mean, think about it, if Magic or Bird played this in this day and age, how many clips on the internet and on TikTok and on YouTube would be of them, this day and age than there was back in the day. They didn't get as many of their highlights as they did, and also in good quality too.
Oh, there's so many, obviously, throughout the year. So many.
Absolutely.
There's so many things we can go on and on about that, players these days have advantages over players back then. Yeah, things like that.
That too, but
just
me personally, I would love. Could I give my starting five? Because I've
Go ahead.
I talked about this earlier today with one of my friends, but most definitely, if we're talking the starting five, my five versus whatever your team is, I would have Magic Johnson at my point guard, because he is tall. If a point guard is tall enough to play center some in his rookie year or at all, I need that guy, because he can look over everybody. He's tall enough to look over the offense, and both literally and rhetorically, but just like he could literally look over his defender in most cases. And then just if your teammates have to adjust to your passing, that's a different level of greatness.
That's a good point.
Like I just finished the book about the dynasty by Jeff Pearlman, Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
A great read, but just really how in depth he was to the team. So definitely Magic at my point, and I want Jordan at my 2. No, I don't think there's an explanation needed for that.
Nah, you don't gotta say anything more about that one.
Yeah.
And then
explanation
at my 3, I want Iguodala.
Iguodala?
Wow.
I'm joking.
Okay.
No.
You're about to scare me, bro.
But I actually want Amari Stoudemire. No, LeBron James.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
a player who can play point guard, small.
Hey, no explanation for him either.
So, and then power forward is where I'm
Gonna be
right in the
interesting.
middle. This is why I think of a 6-man, because there are 2 power forwards that I want to have on the same team. And it's either Tim Duncan,
Yep.
and I'm going to sound so biased right now. I'm going to sound so biased.
Don't say Joakim Noah.
Dennis Rodman.
I'm just playing. Dennis
Oh,
Rodman.
wow,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
He was 6'9" and clamped Shaq up when he played. And you can have you ever seen the old film of when Shaq and Rodman played against each other? Have you seen any of that film?
Yeah, when he was in Detroit, man.
Yeah, they had some battles for sure.
And then when he was obviously in Chicago that next year too.
Yeah, no, he's a beast, man. Defensively, rebounding, you got to give it to him. The only thing I would
Yeah,
say is on the offensive end is the only thing, but
Yeah, but that's a good point. A guy like that is, and that's where it comes
underrated.
in. Like, what kind of team are you trying to beat with that team you're creating, right? Because
Exactly.
Rodman is the perfect player to put on a team
Yeah.
among stars, because he doesn't need the ball to make an impact. Like, he's gonna make an impact no matter what. He don't need a ball on the court to make an impact. So
It's like
that's where he fits with those guys,
Let-
right?
I like
Let
what
me
you say, yeah.
let me explain myself, because I really feel like I need to, whether I do or I don't. I'm not putting Rodman at my 4 just yet, but I'm not putting Tim Duncan there, because you really have to set them together. And when it comes to a player I want on my team, no matter how good either of these players are, either Tim Duncan or Rodman are, I want someone who can, the night before, be black out drunk. Walk in 15 minutes before, like, while your coach is still talking, get in the shower, walk out to the shower, literally having to put on his jersey while he's walking to warm up, and then give you 25 rebounds.
Sounds like a guy named Charles Barkley.
That sounds a guy named Dennis the Menace Rodman. Bro,
That's
and
crazy.
Dennis the Menace. Hey, rebounds are just about effort, and that boy gave more effort than anybody out there on the court.
That's who I'm modeling my game after. And now, center position.
What do you got, Chen?
Lord have mercy. There's so many good options. You have centers who are just, there are 3 centers that should only be in this conversation, in my opinion. You have the center with the deepest bag in history with Olajuwon, with Hakeem. You have the most physically dominant player to ever exist in Shaq, and then you have someone who had the most unstoppable move and literally had to have an alien like Wilt that could barely stop him, like Kareem.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And I'm in this situation, I'm taking out Hakeem. I'm gonna look at Kareem and Shaq, and if this is a team that is playing 5-on-5 basketball, I know, no duh, but I want someone I want Kareem.
In their prime, yeah. Think about it. It's in their prime. This guy's ass in their prime too, so you gotta put that in consideration. That's one criteria.
Exactly. But I don't want a team that's always that. I don't want a team where all of my players are going to be asking for the ball. And I have that, and I have people who are good off ball, like Rodman and Magic, and then I have LeBron, and then I have players who are kind of in between, like LeBron, and then I have my good players that are gonna have the ball in their hand when we need it most, like Jordan and Kareem is going to be that middle to needing the ball in their hands, because if we let's say we're in a 25-second left situation, if I need an easy 2, Kareem's my guy. I need an easy bucket. Kareem's my guy. So I have Magic at my point,
Okay.
Jordan at my 2, LeBron at my 3, D-Rod at my 4, and then Kareem at my 5.
All right, that's pretty nice. That's a nice 5, bro.
That's a sick starting lineup, bro. I can't. It's gonna be hard to compete with that. Whatever you put on the floor.
Dennis Rodman, it definitely is the wrench thrown in there, but I mean, I like it. I like the build.
But like you were saying, Joe, like you already have scoring in that lineup. I mean, you really don't.
And it's not necessarily an all-time, starting. Obviously, those guys are all-time greats that you have in there, but it's not the all-time. Like, it's not like you're ranking the 5 best players ever. You're just
exactly
your
like that's why I had to keep, like, not just for anyone watching, but just to keep myself in that mindset. We are playing 5-on-5 basketball. Who is going to be the better team?
Yeah. And some people are gonna look at it like, what team would have what players would fit the best, have the most chemistry too, like not just necessarily their skill set and everything too. So
exactly.
Sure. No, I agree with you, Chad.
Yeah, you could put a guy like Klay Thompson on a team like that. A guy who doesn't need to even dribble or
come off curls.
He just sits in a corner or sits somewhere and gets open threes because you got freaking Michael Jordan and LeBron or something.
And that's how.
Go ahead, Chen.
And that's like that chemistry. That's how John Stockton and Karl Malone and that jazz got so far multiple times.
Yeah.
Because of that chemistry was so good. Those pick and rolls. Oh, it's like a medium rare steak. It was perfect.
and that's why a lot of people put like Steph Curry in their top 5 or in their starting 5, because he's the guy that can play off the ball, come off curls, and just shoot threes, and not have to worry about really bringing up the ball and keeping it in his hands. He's used to coming off those curls and just playing off the ball as it is. So
yeah. I think no question.
Offensively, but then defensively, that is a story. It depends who he's going against. If he's going against another great like Jordan or Kobe or some other shooting guard, it's a monster.
Because you can make a team like not knowing who you're playing. But if you give me a team of your starting 5, then I'm going to build my starting 5 around that in like a 7-game series.
That's true. Yeah.
But I think
we've seen Kyrie cook up Curry, so
yeah. But I think most commonly that would be my 5, or like most of those players are going to be in my 5.
No, I completely agree with you. I'm gonna have to sit on that. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit to answer that question. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to answer right now because it's there's too many. Yeah, I have to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely, like Joel said, have LeBron and Jordan in there, and then after that, it's kind of like I would have to look at the list some more and kind of debate who I'd rather pick. But yeah, I'll go with that. But yeah, man, it's getting pretty late, Chan. I think I'm gonna hop off here, Joel. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I need to get going. But thanks, Chan, for coming in, man.
Chan, appreciate you coming in, man. Yeah.
For real.
We gotta get on tomorrow night, so look out for us.
Yeah, I had to make sure y'all weren't getting too bored.
We were chopping it up for a while after the dunk contest. We actually got we got shut down because my internet went out or something, and then we got back on. So
who won the dunk contest and who won the 3-point contest? I never got a notification.
So Dame won the 3-point contest, and Joel picked Dame.
Bro, Julius Randle didn't win.
You don't want to see Julius Randle's performance, trust me.
It's
like he wasn't even. It's like he wasn't even there. Okay. But yeah, I picked Marksman. And then he picked Dame, and so he won that one. And then the dunk contest, I picked McClung, and he picked who'd you get again? You had Murphy, right? Or yeah, the guy from New Orleans.
Yeah,
Trey
Murphy.
Trey Murphy. He's a beast. He had some nice dunks, but of course Mac won, so I won that one. So we won.
Did he win?
Yeah, Mac.
A white guy won a dunk contest.
They say white man can't jump, but they were wrong. There's a part 2 coming.
Yeah.
There's a part 2. There's a part 2 coming out with Jack Harlow. I think is gonna be the star. I don't know if you heard about that.
He's probably like 5'11", bro, 5'10".
Yeah, that's true. He's pretty short. He can get up, though. He's got springs.
Oh,
But yeah, what a night. Appreciate everybody tuning in. JB Ball Talk. Appreciate all the subs. Looked like we got up to 395. Creeping closer to that 400. If anybody wants to do a last minute sub, we'd appreciate it. It'd help us out a lot, man. Trying to get up to that 1K. Hit that like button. Make sure you check out our shorts. We're going to try to be on tomorrow night for the All-Star game. Might do a giveaway. If not, we'll do some giveaways soon with some basketball cards. So stay tuned. Joel, or Chan, any last words?
War Eagle, go Big 12, ball up.
Okay, there we go. Joel, any last words?
Appreciate everybody, man. Catch y'all soon. JB Ball Talk, ball up.
Yes, sir. JB Ball Talk, ball up. Appreciate it. Looks like we're getting there. Sub 396. Much love, fam.
Oh, much love.
Ball up. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace. Ball up.